Here we are again.
Yep.
Well, welcome back to the You Never Know podcast where, well, you never know what we're going to talk about or who we're going to have on next.
Never.
I mean, you know who we're going to have on next, but never know what we're going to talk about. How are we feeling today?
Feeling good.
Ready feeling good.
I got a pretty talented guest, so
Yeah.
Good weather today.
Excited, yeah.
It was a good day today.
Yeah.
I was excited. I was pumped for this one.
Yeah, it was unfortunate we couldn't do one last week, but I got my wisdom teeth out, so I couldn't be really talking or anything.
This is episode 10, right? This is
Number 10.
Yeah, big milestone. So
Let's go.
like a wisdom teeth episode would have been pretty funny to see.
That would have been pretty funny.
Take some of the painkillers right before.
That's funny.
But we're here now, and very, very cool guest this week. He's pretty well known around Boise State, I'd say, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Currently DJing all over downtown. So without further ado, Mr. Max Moody.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What's going on, gents?
Not much. How you doing?
Got to get the dap, Ross.
Oh, yeah.
The dap ups? Here, we'll
Yeah.
do a little.
Gotta do the dab up.
So good to see you. Ryan,
Got
I'll do
you.
a little
Yeah,
air
got
dap.
you. Got you.
Alrighty.
Let's get
Getting
into
used
it.
to kind of wearing the headset for the first time. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. Hey, you gonna one ear it too, like when you DJ?
Dude, actually, I was thinking it's actually like quite comfortable for me to wear it like this because
Really?
this is like so normal for me.
That's how I am
Oh,
too.
but-
I like hearing my surroundings.
Right? Hey, but shout out Mother Earth Brewing. Brought
Yeah.
the boys
Yeah.
some brews to
That's
maybe
thank
you'd
you very
enjoy.
much.
So
Yeah.
Some great brews here today.
also I had to. I
Appreciate
told you boys. Had to shout out Wednesday Brews. Those are the boys that are watching right now as well. So
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Let's go. Well, thank you for coming on.
absolutely.
Should be a good one. So kind of before we just dive into everything, just kind of the use. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, obviously you're a Boise State student.
Absolutely. Yeah. Boise State student. I got super lucky and started DJing kind of around quarantine time. But I guess I'll let some more details, but just love living here in Boise. Couldn't probably stay here after college. I graduate in May. So, yeah, until then I'm going to be sweating here because I'm already nervous. Just like the second it like clicks live, it's like, that's when it gets real. But
Yeah.
no.
What's your major as a DJ?
Well, as a DJ, that's actually my master's program. I'm going to get my DJing degree, but I'm marketing and then I have a minor in entrepreneurship management. So
Oh, hell yeah.
basically I kind of use what I'm learning in school because I market myself DJing wise and then trying to make a little business out of it. So
Hell yeah.
Hell
Very
pretty
cool.
cool.
Appreciate
Before,
you were marketing this podcast pretty well too.
Yeah, I'm doing my best, you know.
Appreciate it.
My younger self YouTube vibes, like trying to be a YouTuber when I was a little kid, kind of coming in and playing a good role there. So.
I wish I could do it as good as you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So kind of before we get into Boise State and where we're at now, why don't you just kind of tell us, like where you were born, where'd you grow up?
Totally.
How was that like?
So I grew up in San Jose, California.
Oh, that's where I was born.
Where are you from?
Oh, I can tell you. I moved when I was like 5.
Okay, never mind. I was like, oh, you're from there too. But
It's
San Jose,
historic
California.
trauma.
So it's San Jose, but Willow Glen was the town I'm from. Lived there 18 years all the way up until I went to Boise State. You're 30 minutes from the ocean. You're 30 minutes from San Francisco. So you're kind of just like the prime area to kind of have both experience. I mean, I grew up going to the beach a lot, going to the city. But yeah, it's California. I know I'm in Boise now, so I'm like good at not talking about California. It's like, but yeah, sadly another one of those California kids that came to Boise State, and here we are, and just like a lot of Orange County kids. And
I
stuff
know
like
you
that.
said you were probably gonna stay in Boise after you graduate.
Totally.
But are you gonna ever go back to California? Like, is that on the
maybe when
agenda?
I'm like a superstar DJ, I would love to maybe go to San Diego and play some shows and stuff.
Maybe
But
just buy a house there, right?
Exactly, if I house on the water, that's what's bringing me back
Nice
to
summer
California.
home.
Yeah, gotta get some money.
The family,
first.
my mom and dad. I know they're watching, so I got to say that in order to shout out mom and dad. I'll come back for them.
Yeah.
Possibly.
No residency though, just a house.
Yeah, just a house.
That's right.
Vacation home.
You were saying before the show that when you were young you wanted to be like a big YouTuber and
Totally.
kind of stuff like that. Did you? What were you doing growing up in the Bay Area to do that?
Well, so basketball is like my main thing, and I was always kind of just like an athlete growing up, where I liked playing sports, played soccer, etc. But the second I got a PS4, I like basically bartered with my parents, and like I was like, oh, I'm gonna sell my own skateboard that they probably got me for Christmas back to them in order to make money to buy a PS4. And I was the total gamer kid. I was like, I'd go to freaking school, I'd go and play basketball. Next thing you know, it's like I'm playing COD until 4 a.m, and my mom's like, you have school tomorrow. And so I think there's some YouTube account out there on YouTube. It's called like It's Maximus. It has 3 videos from 2015. And I was like, pretty sure my voice was like, hey guys, welcome to this. But I think just the idea of it back in the day, I think growing up, like, do you guys ever like remember like who were some of the names? But like, I can't even think of one, like Smosh maybe it was a good one, or just be like even PewDiePie back in the day for us. Like those were the names where like they're just living this lifestyle where it's like I was totally the kid that was like, oh, I'm gonna be a YouTuber, I'm gonna drive Lamborghinis, and like this is what I was gonna do, and well, I'm not there yet, but yeah, that was totally just something that was cool to me. And
I think I like can't think of any like now because
they all fell off.
Yeah, they all fell off now.
They have like a turnover rate now. It's like YouTubers are just it's like TikTok people have now become YouTubers. They're boxers now. Yeah, Jake Paul and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Hey, that's right after DJing. I'm gonna start just throwing shots everywhere. So
that's funny.
Did you ever try to like hop on Vine and get big through there?
Dude, no. I was an avid Vine user. I was always stuck to the phone. I always liked the idea of it, but I don't think until now, which is funny because I post videos of myself talking or promoting my shows and stuff. I don't even think I had the confidence level to even be able to do that type of stuff.
That's what I was just going to say. It's like it takes a level of confidence to just take a funny video and post it.
That, and then also I probably wasn't that funny. Like I have a skill set now that is promotable. And like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be DJing here. I'm going to be doing this. And so it's easy for me to talk about it because I have like content to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, back then I couldn't just be like, oh, dude, I'm going to be funny right now and post a video. But I wish I did. It would have been cool if I did.
So like, how did you build the confidence then now? Do you think it's just like DJing a ton and then kind of that crowd confidence built that like promotional?
A little bit. Also, I think the honest answer is you grow up a little bit. Definitely. I feel like you kind of start falling into yourself. When I was in high school, I was that super skinny, tall, like you go to college, you start filling out a little bit, got new glasses, got a good haircut. Like I was just like, I was kind of like the kid you look at, I was like, oh, that's a tall, skinny, like 4 eyes. And like, next thing you know, it's like, I kind of fill into myself and I'm just more confident in myself, just like having more of core friends, more better social life, just people in your life. Yeah, but no, it took a lot of work to get confident enough to do it because it definitely wasn't an overnight thing. I think I'm in the right spot now where I'm definitely confident and like those type of videos aren't as like awkward to myself anymore. I definitely like take 12 takes. I'll be honest. Like it's definitely not like oh, this is perfect every time. Like I'll be like, oh, cancel that one. Oh, maybe this one's good. But no, you just have to work on it. And you just got to know that, I guess I feel like I'm gonna become like some cliche, like philosopher on this podcast after a little bit. But the way I think about it is like, people are going to laugh at it and look at it, but I'll tell you right now, if I'm playing in some big Vegas show one day, people are going to be like, well, hold on, wait, I need to start doing those same videos because it's only embarrassing to you if you let other people's opinions kind of like fluctuate that. But I'm like, dude, I want to be a superstar DJ one day. And if I have to do these videos to do it, I'm going to freaking do it. That's freaking awesome. But definitely took some growing a lot.
I think they're dope. Like you kill it on it.
Yeah,
and
thank you so much.
It's like, I mean, those people that are, thinking they're weird or whatever are probably going to be asking you for tickets to your show it.
And honestly, I'll gladly give them to them. I'll gladly, I mean, I kind of enjoy being able to talk about this because I knew coming on here I'd be asked questions like this and I'd never really got to talk about this stuff because I had people where along the journey of DJing, but a lot of it was networking wise, but a lot of the stuff I promote and stuff I do is a lot of stuff I just kind of did on myself where I was in my bedroom. And so,
That's cool.
Pretty cool.
I think once kind of the peer pressure of high school goes away too, you
that
stop caring
too.
what people think.
Definitely.
Also, I thought basketball was everything. I was like, oh my God, this is good. Like, I want to play college ball. This is going to be everything. And that's not everything. And life's way more diverse than playing college or high school basketball. But
I was say, is that what your sport? Obviously, tall guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually play you guys tonight in intramural.
Yeah,
so
I
we
was
play.
I was gonna say our superstar Kobe Amaro is out tonight.
Thank God. Yes, thanks for letting me know. Now I'm way more confident.
Yeah, he's my roommate. And
is he a baller?
Yeah, I get back and he's I can't move my arm up, and I was like, don't you have a game tomorrow? He's like,
oh, Colby. Yep. No, I know exactly who Colby is. I'm like, for a second, I was like, Kobe? I'm like, oh shit, he's coming. No, but no, Colby. Yeah, Kobe's awesome too. He's a stud.
And we can just make this podcast run long and keep Max, from going to the game.
Right? That might be a good. It's at 9:30, so we'd have like 5 more hours of talking.
Yeah, I guess he went to like St. Luke's or something this morning. They had to pop his shoulder back into place. So
what was he doing?
It was playing basketball yesterday.
Oh, he was.
I forgot.
They had that hoop night. I saw someone text in the chat. They're like, open hoop at like 8 or whatever.
So hopefully the rest of the team can
pull through.
A little bit. But man, that's really cool. So you kind of just grew up. Kind of sounds like pretty normal childhood. I mean, fun. Living in a cool city.
It was pretty awesome. Yeah.
So what kind of led you to BSU?
I was telling you before this, I was excited for this question because I never knew why exactly it was BSU, because I was like so convinced it was like Butler and Oregon. There were like 2 schools I got into, and for some reason I was so infatuated by both. I'm like, I want to be an Oregon Duck, I want to go to Butler. I don't even know anything about Butler.
I was big on
Where
the
is
Ducks.
Yeah,
Right?
I don't even know what that is.
I was like, Butler, I was like, it was just a Bulldog school, and it was like away from home. And I was like, yo, this would be cool to go to like kind of a prestige. It sounded prestigious.
Yeah.
And what's
Where
funny,
is it?
Indianapolis? I don't even
I
know
couldn't
exactly. I think
tell
maybe
you.
that could be so far off, but hey, it's in a state in the
Is
United
it
States.
Butler College?
Yes, Butler University.
Butler University.
I've heard about it. I don't know anything about it though.
But are you checking it right now?
Yeah, it's in Indianapolis,
Oh
Indiana.
my God, that was the smoothest guess.
Spot on.
I'm not. My geography teacher would be so proud back in high school because that was my worst subject. But yeah, and then it kind of came down to the point where the WUI, obviously being from California and being from out of state,
Huge.
Like so. $11,000 off school
Half off.
half off. Also, Oregon $60K a year was what it was telling me, and I'm like, I'm not doing that.
$200,000 for a degree is not worth it.
Yeah. So,
My
but
sister's going through the same dilemma right now. Is picking Oregon and the financials, and Boise and the WUI, and it's like
I will.
the
Well,
WUI
you also go
outweighs-
here. Tell her to go the WUI route because
Yeah.
that is by far the smartest, and also the 4 years. Super important, but we all know it goes by pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you right now, coming out with way less debt, I think the financial side of it's a lot more important than even what you might gain from college. College is very useful, but
Right.
you're going to be battling that debt afterwards.
Yeah, you're not
Because
gonna
unless
get a
it's
better
like
experience.
Ivy League or something,
Yeah,
a degree's a degree.
exactly.
You know, I
Yeah.
think it doesn't matter if you graduate from Oregon or
Yep.
Boise State. You
Yep.
know,
Yeah, it's a piece of paper.
Yep. But Boise, Washington State, I went to Washington State. It was sleeting snow everywhere, and I came here and it was
Oh, you
snowy.
went in the winter?
It was, yeah. My mom, we must have planned a bad time because it was super snowy, but I guess we went right back and we were here next, but it was sunny here. It was literally like today. It was like 40, 50 degrees and sunny. I was like, oh, wow,
Dang.
Boise's so cool. And so,
yeah, that probably would kill Washington. For
Yeah,
you.
right,
Go straight
right.
to sun, yeah.
and just like the city itself, like you come into Boise and we stayed at the Inn at 500 or whatever, like right there. It was
Right.
First off, it was a cool ass hotel. and I'm
Yeah,
like,
Inn
this
at
place is
500.
awesome.
Yeah.
And then you just walk around, and I was going to the Fork or whatever, and I like had lunch, and I was like, hey, I'm going to Boise State, or like I'm interested in going to Boise State, to like the servers and the hostess and then people. And I think Boise as a town and a community, people were like, oh my God, you might come here. Like, we would be so happy to have you. Like, just that, like, people were so personable and like
Yeah.
so open to like me coming here. I was like, oh, dude, I want to go there. And next thing you know, here we are 4 years later, about to graduate in May, and
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Flies by.
never looked back.
It does fly by.
They are definitely super welcoming here, though.
It's
But
crazy.
even though you hear all the
To an
stereotypes
extent, I
against,
feel like-
yeah, you
'Cause,
hear,
you
the
hear all that
stereotypes.
Californian slander, but
Mhm.
As long as they don't see your license plate.
Right? My truck
They're the
has
nicest.
I switched it to Idaho, so
Yeah.
okay, that's
I feel
my
like
move.
they're
we're rolling.
welcoming. They're welcoming to the college kids, not people moving here, though.
Yep.
Yeah, bring the money. I think is kind of their
Oh,
mindset.
Yeah.
100%.
But,
I didn't bring much of that, so
I was gonna say though, they're giving us such a big scholarship away. We're not bringing any of the money. So
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
But you were saying that when you went up to Wazoo, you didn't like how it was snowing and stuff.
it was just super snowy, and I'm like, obviously at the time, which I love the snow, I love going up to Bogus, but
Right.
I had been to Tahoe a few times. It's like 4 hours from me, so it's like it wasn't like such a common trip.
Yeah.
And it was like sleet, like it was wet
Yeah.
snow, and it was just like to come here and like it was definitely a parallel between the two. Like
Yeah.
it was just that condition and coming here and having it sunny. I was like, oh, there's
Right.
I'm sorry, but this is way cooler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was asking because I know a lot of people who come from California.
Yeah.
The snow is kind of a big attraction.
Yeah,
They're
it's very
excited to
true.
go do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the sleet and the slush on the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah,
that's-
it
Wazoo's
was
super flat too,
horrible.
so I mean, I feel like you just see the snow, but you're like, well, what do you do with
Yep.
it? There's no mountains nearby, nothing
Yep.
like that.
Are you
so.
you snowboard skier guy or
Snowboard for sure.
Okay.
After my first year here, that Christmas was like my big like, oh, I get all my snow gear. Next thing you know, but yeah, I've had a Bogus Pass every year since, and I wouldn't say like you're not catching me in the air like holding my board, but like
Yeah.
I mean I'm getting down the mountain, so
That's
I'm
true.
pretty confident in that. If I'm getting down, we're having fun.
That's all
so,
that matters, right?
Yeah, a
Nice.
few beers on the way up. So I mean,
Exactly.
not in the car, on the
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
would have prefaced that.
Responsibly,
Yeah,
responsibly.
responsibly.
But yeah, so pretty much the WUI kind of led you to Boise State, kind of the
100%.
people and
Definitely, I was smart and I took the financial route, and
Right.
obviously now looking back at it, like coming out of college with like basically nothing almost, like it's so much cheaper. It's like you get to start like actually like start your life and like do stuff. I'm not worried about anything like that. So yeah.
So like, what was coming to Boise? What was the goal? Like, what'd you come in with a mindset of?
Dude, I came in as a kinesiology major. I used to think I was going to be a chiropractor because I've always loved talking to people. And then my ex-girlfriend in high school, her mom was a chiropractor, and I just had been around that job, and it was super cool to me to like interact with people and like kind of be medical, because a lot of people in my family are like my Uncle Phil's medical, served in the ER for like 30 years. Both my brothers worked at a hospital. My brother's going to nursing school right now in Austin, so he just started that and he's killing it. But I was like, I don't think that's me. And so my dad does sales and he's in business, and so I was in this parallel. Like, there's a lot of people who look like people I look up to, obviously, like my dad and my brothers, and one's that's all medical on one side and then it's all kind of business on the other. And I guess I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to be medical, but it's more like personable as a chiropractor. Next thing you know, I end up joining a fraternity, and everyone's like an accounting and financing major. And then I switched to that, and then I switched to econ, and then here we are. I switched my major a few times, so now we're in the sweet spot for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's what college is all about, kind of figuring it out.
100%.
So, I mean, a lot of us have switched our major. I came in as a marketing major, and then sophomore year, I was like,
not for you?
Yeah, I just switched to comm because I like just talking and communications.
And that's the best thing you can. That's the best thing you could do for a comm major. So I mean, hey, it fits you perfectly.
Yeah. But yeah. So what made you kind of finally land on marketing from switching around a bunch?
I can honestly say when I'm saying like I'll be cliche or like philosophical or whatever, I totally think psychology would have been a good route for me. I've always loved the way people think, and kind of I think some of my extroversion came from wanting to hear what people have to say, and I have found enjoyment in that. And in parallel, I like business though. I like the idea of business and kind of like what that can happen from that, because I think so much of the world is business. Even in the medical field, the hospital is a business. Like it's run in that way. So the idea of learning about business itself interests me. And then marketing to me is kind of like the psychology of the consumer.
Right.
I'm a DJ, everybody. I know it might not sound like I sound like definitely more. I mean, I've gone to school, and this is like I'm talking about like marketing stuff, but yeah, and that's like the psychology of the consumer. And so
once you know how people like think and what they want, you know exactly how to market.
So that was my way to touch into psychology, yet get my business aspect of it. And so it was so funny when I switched to marketing, because I went from like accounting and financing just because I knew people who were double majoring in that, which is like, imagine me cranking the calculator. Like I'm just, that's not me at all. I'm not like math, not my thing at all. Like I don't know what I was thinking. And then econ, I was like, my dad was in econ, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna follow what my dad does. Like that will, then you get to do business. You understand the basics of business. Econ's basics, you know. Oh God, it was like I had one semester, it was like 3 econ courses, and I was just like, oh no, this ain't it.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
And here we are now. I took like 2 marketing classes. My first 2 marketing classes were for consumer behavior and like professional selling, and I'm like, here we go. This is more like me. So
and that stuff, like in those classes, I've learned being a media person. Like obviously I'm back here doing all this shit. Like 100%. You can apply what I'm trying to do in real life to those classes, and it makes it a lot easier and a lot more beneficial.
And I also like that about marketing. I think marketing touches on a broad perspective of a lot of different things, and I think you can use a lot of different things in business in marketing. I kind of just found it.
Would you say the marketing, like not major or like the marketing field as a college student, would you say it's oversaturated?
Oh, absolutely. Like if you look on like TikTok or any of these things, marketing is like blasted on by any social media thing, where it's like you have like engineers who are busting their ass, like getting the work done. And then you have the medical students that are like waking up, going to class super early, like all these girls that are nurses and like doing all these like crazy like early mornings at the hospital. And it's like, oh, you're a marketing student. Like you don't have to be smart at all. And you're just like, but I mean, I would agree with you. I would 100% say visually it's saturated, but I think there's a lot of people that naturally can connect with it. And why it's saturated is because it's natural for a lot of people to be able to talk to people or be interested in what other people are doing or interested in the way people think. So
definitely,
yeah, I mean,
I would totally say that
there's a lot of jobs out there for it too. Cause I mean,
100%.
literally every company.
It's way more of a broad major than I think people realize. That's why, because I kept it as my minor.
Yep.
And I totally agree, because I kind of agree, like the psychology side of it, like that stuff interests me too, right? That kind of ties in with communications, and I'm like in an online marketing class right now, and it's all about, like consumer insight, how to get more viewers and more like conversion rates for your website and stuff like that. And so it's all psychology, how you set up your website, how you set it up with Google.
Yeah,
it's
really interesting.
It's a good segue. There's a chat question in the live chat. I think it might be related to you. It's Mr. Bad Mood 34.
Oh yeah, that's Dad right there. Yeah.
How do you apply the psychology of the consumer to your music presentations?
Oh my God, Dad, that's such. Of course, he's asking that type of question. So I think obviously, I think the biggest thing and what has given me success downtown Boise, especially, is not only just people I've known from the university or relationships I've made after DJing or prior, knowing myself and knowing maybe like we can say the psychology of the people, like how I handled myself. And I feel like in the first few years of college and my ability to grow socially and know a lot of people allowed me this platform to when I started DJing, I applied my kind of, I'm just like, be nice to people. I like to be kind. A lot of people kind of, which I hope people knew me for this, but like I try to project that like I was a good guy, like really anyone could come talk to me. Like I'm not trying to be some asshole in any way. And so I apply that just kind of kindness, and you saw that reflection of my kindness onto other people and to them supporting me when I started this music endeavor and I'm kind of promoting myself. People came back around and showed the kindness that maybe I once showed them. A lot of people would like be in my DMs and be like, hey, like really love what you're doing. And this person like I was not really close with, especially not like someone you'd be like, oh, this is your close friend. But like really a lot of people would like reach out and be supportive, and they'd be like, hey, you were always just really kind to me and like always supportive maybe what I did. And I saw that, and I think that was just like me knowing and learning from my marketing classes, or knowing kind of the psychology of how people work, that it's kind of like a round robin, like it comes back onto you. And so I think I was just lucky enough to apply it in that manner. So
yeah, I mean,
if that answers the question.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a super good personality trait.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
When you just beam like kindness and positivity,
crazy.
That stuff always comes back.
It is crazy.
Right?
And dude, people can having like the worst day. People can like, or people just having a good day. But like if they meet you and like their perception of you, because as humans we make perceptions of people so quickly. And so if you meet me on my worst day and I'm just like I blow you off, like yeah, you're gonna be like, oh dude, that guy's an asshole. Right. But like if you just do your best, which that's the best you can do, is just try your best to be that kind of beam of light, be that positivity. It's crazy how much that's reflected back at you.
It's speaking of psychology, it's the first 7 seconds, like the first impression, where that's like for the most part how people judge you. And
I didn't know
how they cement you within that first 7 seconds is most likely how they're going to view you from there on out, and it's really hard to change that.
Damn, I gotta be better at my first impression.
Just standing there kind of analyzing.
Be super happy all the time.
It's funny because when people come into like and see me DJ in Amsterdam stuff, like I'm doing something I enjoy. Dude, I'm listening to music, and usually I have a drink in my hand, so I'm having a wonderful time. So like people will come up to me and be like, hey, or like they'll ask about DJing, like how does it even start? Or it's just people I know, and it's just like greeting them with a smile and be like, what's up? How are you doing tonight? Like
bring a beer.
You're downtown. We're here to have a good time. And so it's easy to be in that scene and be in a positive mood. Cause like rarely is someone to come up. The only people that get mad at me is like someone might ask for a song request, and if I never played it, they'll be like, you see him walk out with just a stink eye. I'm like, sorry.
Sorry, I can't please everyone. Really.
Yeah, sorry you asked for like a 60 BPM song when I'm playing 120.
Oh my God, you're speaking my language. Yeah, it happens all the time. Or it's like, oh my God, they're asking for country. I'm like, Roddy's is right around the corner. So that's the whole point. We have different bars is so that we can play different music. And
speaking of like, being the nice guy, like a lot of DJs are not like nice guys, especially because, I'm a DJ as well on the side. Yeah. And I came up to you first time in Amsterdam and was like, yo, how you doing? And like, let me around the back of the,
hell yeah.
Dude, there are like, I think you're the only DJ maybe I've ever known that would maybe even let me come close to like the like board and the software.
Yeah,
and like the way I get in is I say like, oh, what are you using? Serato or virtual DJ? You got to at least get in with them. But you let, and I see you let people, behind the desk all the time, which is dope.
And I remember you talked to me about DJing a bunch, and if someone shares a similar, first off, DJing is something I enjoy so much, and it's created like such a peak happiness for me, I guess you could say almost. Like it's been the thing that's made me the most excited so far out of anything I've done in my life. When I have someone coming up to me and asking me about that, like, why would I shun somebody away from that? Or like, I would honestly answer it like, if you go up to a DJ or it's an asshole DJ, it's like, maybe he's just having a bad time, or maybe he's not doing good, or people aren't dancing. But like, I think it's most of the time that like, it's common to get people to come over because you're obviously like interacting with the crowd. Like people are obviously going to come up and ask you for it.
They're curious.
But like, if the way you came up and you're like, hey, this is like, oh, I'm interested in what you're doing. And I'm like, I'm also still interested in what I'm doing. Like I would love, like I can talk to anybody about DJing forever because it's something I enjoy. So
yeah,
I'm glad that I left that impression on you because there is. I think some people are in DJing for different reasons, and obviously I'm not like the world's biggest DJ by any means, but like I think that carries over though. I could be playing in Vegas and playing some big show, and if people are there and they want to be like excited and or asking me questions, I don't think I ever have it in me to like really blow someone off like that. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh dude, get out of here. Like
don't ever get caught up in the fame.
No, not at all.
Speaking of like approaching other DJs, Rylan, you want to tell the story of in New York when you got up on stage with that one DJ at that club?
Yeah, so we were in New York.
I'm excited for this.
Me and Danger and another kid, Alex Doan, shout out Doan, went to New York on like a sporadic trip in December. And, you know, being the college kids we are, we're looking for clubs, right?
Of course, absolutely.
And the first club we went to was a little bit out of our price range. It was about a $1,500 minimum, and it was only the three of us. And
you went
keep
in?
in mind, no.
Oh, I was about to say, I was like, good lord.
No, but keep in mind, we're three kids from the West Coast.
Definitely.
It's New York in December, so it's about 37 degrees or so, and we're like, you know, Boise doesn't have coat checks, so we're out in New York in short sleeve collared shirts, and you know, some slack. You know, nice pants.
Yep, definitely.
But anyway, we get to this club. We finally get to this club, and I see these guys, you know, their vibe. It was more of a house club, and I see these guys vibing up top, and I'm kind of, you know, doing like the little hand, like, you know, the pump with them, and they see me and they point at me, and so they end up coming down to find me in the crowd, and they're like, yo, you know, your energy's so dope, like, you know, like, what's up? And
hell yeah.
I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, hey, get me up there. Like, I'm a SoCal club promoter, you know. I'm just trying to work the crowd.
You get talking out of his neck.
I'm trying to make a video. I got some film from the club, and
I'm
like, you know, I'm not gonna miss this opportunity. So the one guy's like, yeah, let me go talk to the bouncer up there. Let me go see if I can get you up there. So he goes, and 5 minutes later he comes back, and he's like, yeah, I think I can get you up there for like 15 minutes. So, you know, come with me in a few minutes and I'll get you up there. I'm like, all right,
cool.
sweet.
I'd be like, cool.
You know, earlier in the day, me and Danger were in a town, and we got some nice watches that looked pretty legit, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Shout out Chinatown.
Shout out
I love
Soho.
it. I love it. Had a few of those myself.
And, you know, I was wearing it to the club because you got to flex a little bit at, you know, the nicer clubs in New York. And so we walk over, and the guy's like, you know, I'm just following this guy, you know, acting like I'm supposed to be there.
Yep.
The guy, you know, holds me back. Whoa, what are you doing here? And I'm like, you know, I'm with him. You know, I'm a club promoter. I'm just trying to get some videos, you know, shout him out on Instagram, all that stuff. He's like, no. And then he looks down. I'm holding my phone already with the camera, and he sees my watch. And he's like, is that real? And I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, you know, why would I wear it? And he goes, all right, you can be up here for a few minutes.
No way. And it wasn't real.
And no, it wasn't real at all.
But like, no way that's what gave him the value in his head, or that's what told him, like, oh, this guy should be up here. Watch?
I wasn't, like, what? I would say, Dan, those people in the clubs were wearing, like, you know, like suits or, like, pretty nice attire.
Definitely.
And I'm only wearing, like, a polo. Like, not like a collared shirt, but, like, a button down. Like, I look like I'm going to, like, maybe, like, a birthday party or whatever.
A club and shirt.
Yep.
Yeah. Like a West Coast club and shirt, not in New York.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And so, you know, he probably realized, like, yeah, this guy's just drunk and trying to get up on the DJ booth because his DJ was really good.
Yep.
And he was killing it. And so I get up there and I start filming with him. And, yeah, and they let me up there, and I get some dope footage. I see them in the crowd, and they see me from afar, and they're like, how the hell did he get up? Because I disappeared from him.
That's so
but
it
was
awesome.
It was hilarious. But, yeah, the DJ was pretty cool. You know, he let me film him and oversee his stuff because, I mean, that was like the stuff you're doing at like Dylan Friends. Like, it was like that type of setup.
Yeah,
it was
definitely
insane.
Yeah, when you go to a club in New York, I mean, even here, even like Karma has one of the best setups.
Yes,
we have,
that's kind of the setup a little bit.
I always say Karma is like the one bar in Boise that like really reminds me of clubs in like the bigger cities.
Yeah,
like San Diego and stuff.
Well, until we're gonna switch around Strange Love. Strange Love is built.
That's what I heard,
dude. Strange Love is built after a Vegas club. If you have ever been in, have you ever been in Strange Love?
Yeah. Only a couple times.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
Yeah, it's 2 stories. Crazy. There's actually a whole separate private VIP lounge with another DJ in it in this place.
Yeah.
But I think we just like being in that industry or with the people that play there and stuff and knowing them, because kind of Ted, who owns the bars downtown, he owns kind of all those bars.
Yeah, like 5 of them, right? Or something like that.
He owns Karma, Roddy's, Strange Love, and Amsterdam. Yeah. I have plans, so not to hint at it, but I'm hoping to have kind of the plan of making that place the club, because I think that's what its potential could be. I mean, that's what you made it to be, is to look like a Vegas club. But I just went to Vegas and had a wonderful time, and I'll tell you right now, we don't play it like a Vegas club at all, DJ wise, from a DJ perspective. And I can imagine I hear people going there like either they haven't been in there or it just wasn't my vibe. Which is like
the one right next to Roddy's?
Right next to Roddy's. Yeah, they're connected.
I've only
been
stairs one time, and I got like recruited to go VIP, but I was also with a bunch of girls.
Because they say that because obviously they're trying to get people in there, right? They're like, oh, you come in VIP, blah blah blah. But I think the college scene has missed that, and like we've made Roddy's, which country music awesome. It's Idaho. I love country music too. But if we had a place, even from 11 to 1, finish at Roddy's 1 to 2. I mean, that's kind of the thing to do. Yeah. But I'm thinking like 11 to 1. Like if you had like a like party, like crazy, like I mean, that's it. It has all the facilities to do that.
They got CO2 cannons in there.
They do.
You just need the crowd. I feel like once you get the crowd, everyone's like, all right, this is the place.
And I think I'm slowly building that as like, because people are coming to Amsterdam, and it's fun because the management there's like, hey, like people are coming in and like they know you. They're asking if you're DJing tonight, and I'm like, first off, that's baller. That's so like the fact that anybody's like Moody's DJing tonight and they want to come into the bar, that means that's pretty cool. If I have one fan, that's sick. I'll take it. But like when people come in and like when other DJs play there, like when I got back from my Vegas trip and I wasn't, because I hadn't played there that weekend, they're like, dude, we're so glad to have you back. It just wasn't the same. And that's when you know you're bringing value, or like people are there for you, and it feels good.
Eye-opening, right?
So I think as we grow more in Boise and we pick it up, I think there's going to be a time where I can shift over to Strange Love and kind of promote it and like bring college kids out and make it a whole different scene. So
2022 is the year of Strange Love?
Yeah, dude, I'm calling it out right now. I'm calling it out, especially closer to summertime.
Yeah.
I'll definitely, because I mean, I'll hit everyone up if I'm gonna play at a new bar.
Oh yeah, let us know. We'll be there.
I'm not letting myself play there and no one show up. So I'm gonna. That goes back to why I make those videos. Like,
put that marketing degree to
use. Are you kidding me? Like, you make that video. If I have 3 extra people coming to that bar because they watch my video, dude,
that's a win.
That could be the one dude that going the craziest the whole night and gets everyone else on the dance floor. You just need one person starts the dance floor. So you never know. So
you never know.
Strange Love 2022. We're shouting it out. Still love Amsterdam though. Amsterdam's obviously number 1 in my heart.
Yeah, you're the house resident, I guess, is the official term technically. Yeah. But I want to jump back a little bit.
Definitely.
What got you into DJing? Like originally, I mean, we went over all the Boise stuff and all the what brought DJing to the table for you?
How'd you kind of start as well? Yeah.
The craziest start, because it wasn't even me who like had the idea to start it. So to give a little background to it, though, I have 2 older brothers, and having older brothers, I think they went through like the Skrillex EDM like crazy dubstep like scene, and like they liked electronic music, so I'm like the little brother. I'm like, hell yeah, electronic music. Yeah. So I think it was 2014 or something. My brother went to EDC, the Electric Daisy Carnival in Vegas. And I remember I'm also on a trip, and I'm just with my family, my sister, but my brother's there, oldest brother, and he's like, dude, yeah, this is where I'm at. So I stay up all night, and I have my headphones in. I'm watching EDC on their live.
Oh, okay.
And ever since then, like when I was younger, I was like, I've never been crazy musically talented, never could play piano, never played an instrument. But I'm seeing this, I'm like, I like this. This is badass. And I'm seeing like these big DJs come out, and I'm just sitting there just wide-eyed at like 14 watching these huge DJs come around. It's quarantine, even a little before quarantine, actually. My roommate, I used to live with my good buddy Jake Fuller, bought a DJ board. He bought it. He bought this whole setup, and like next thing you know, I'm like, let me try that. Like, let me just hang out with you and do it with you. Second I touched it, I was just like, I'm taking this over. I'm hooked. Like from the second we made like a simple like switch out, like we were playing one song and then we click stop and play on the other one and just change the drop. But we turned some like simple R&B song into like Tremor or whatever. It was like, like something like that. And from that point, next thing you know, I bought the same exact board, and like we both had one, and I would just play it all throughout quarantine. Next thing you know, I upgraded, and now I have my board that I play on in Amsterdam, and like it was just slowly, it just like picked up so quickly. But to give my background of how I started DJing in front of people, so I used to work at Barbacoa, so I was a busser for like probably 8 to 9 months. So I was bussing tables, like just DJing during quarantine. Next thing you know, I mean, sorry, I'm burping. Sparkling water was probably not the best choice. But Blake Bond, probably like my savior in Boise DJ wise. He was also serving at Barbacoa, but he was like the DJ manager there. So they have a DJ up on the rooftop. They have like a kind of separate rooftop area.
Oh, they do? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's super fun. I hope they do a DJ this year. There was talks that they weren't, but we're gonna have to change that because it's super. It's like outside, the pond right outside Barbacoa. It's like it's the coolest little up top rooftop venue. But I'm really hoping that they do it this summer. But sorry, I know it's kind of a long backstory. I'm sorry. Do we want like an intermittent question?
No, we're good.
But to make it short, but Blake Bond, he was the DJ manager, and I just sent him a little mix. Next thing you know, I play with him. Me and him become best friends. He's the guy I did the 2 shows with. We'll talk about later. But that
you
got
playing
my start.
With him where?
Barbacoa,
Barbacoa.
So he would do it. He was also the DJ there, and he gave me the shot. That's how I first started DJing in front of people.
That's dope.
And from there, obviously, you just start meeting people, and they're just like, "Oh, we like this guy's energy," because like I'm just sitting there like wide-eyed, like DJing in front of people, having the best time ever, like yeah, and yeah, it just quickly evolved into something so much more. So
like, what are you playing at Barbacoa? Because that crowd can be, I mean, if you're doing it during the day, that could be a mixed crowd.
So it is the rooftop,
people.
So it's not just which you're right, it is a different crowd, but it's not just like the inside area where people are eating. So since it's the rooftop, there's people of all ages. You have college kids, you have middle-aged people, you have every age possible, quite frankly. So we played kind of like light electric stuff for a bit, and then if it was popping with college kids, biggest thing about being a DJ is being able to read a crowd. So I would just have to kind of know my audience. Nighttime was huge hip-hop. Adults would be there late night because a lot of college kids would have been going downtown if you're 21. But yeah, so it was just kind of reading the crowd, and that is honestly what I attune or give credit to building my library as a DJ, is because I had to play to every single type of crowd. So like I would go home, somebody would ask me for a song. If I didn't have it, I'd write it down, go home that night, and get on my laptop the next day. So the next time they'd come, next thing you know, I'd have that song, and slowly but surely I started having every song someone asked for. And so
it's a nice feeling, huh?
Oh my God. When someone looks at you, first off, when someone looks at you and gives you a good song request, like if I'm playing like a house song, or we're just like prime time of the night, it's like 11:30 going 12 o'clock, Amsterdam's full, and someone's like, yo, play Pepos or some like just like some good like song that everybody knows, and it's like in the BPM range, which we were talking about earlier. It's like, oh my God, it's like the best thing you could ever ask for.
Yep.
But most of the time you're not going to get that. So people but like people ask for obviously like anything early 90s hip hop 2000s, like you just got to have that too, and it feels good. It's like they want Bartender, they want Oh My God by Usher, they want like they want that type of stuff. So
I was gonna ask you, like, you kind of answered the question, but for the most part, can you just kind of play whatever you want? Do you have to dress for the crowd? Does it completely depend on the venue?
To answer that in 2 separate ways, I got super lucky. I think somehow I just have decent music taste that most other people like. Yeah. Like, so in terms of like house music I like, or what other college kids like, I think I just got lucky. And I think, I mean, obviously us all being in fraternities and stuff, like we know, like you've ever been to a party, you know what music they're playing there, like, and you hear it. And so I used to be at parties and every once in a while, like be on aux or like play an aux at a party. So you kind of know what college kids like. I mean, being at a party, you kind of get the general idea, but I also have loved electric music. And so dude, I can get down to dubstep. I can get down to hard. I can get down to the lightest tropical stuff. I just enjoy it all. I love country. I love hip hop. So I think I just got lucky of knowing kind of all different type of genres of music a little bit. And I've known it enough where sometimes I play what I want and does a good job. And other times it's 100%. As a DJ though, your job is to play to the crowd.
Feel it out.
Like I'm not throwing dubstep on in Amsterdam to like there is something you have to play. Like they're not like, I can't play hip hop. I can like, I've been there long enough where they're not going to fire me. So luckily
I say, could you?
Well, actually, I'm going to take that back. Hopefully the owners don't watch it, but like they don't want to, because they know I'm enjoying myself and people are coming in and enjoying themselves when I'm there. But definitely, like, I'm not throwing on like E40, throwing it back, like really, like I'm not throwing on DaBaby or Meg Thee, like if I can throw like a Meg Thee Stallion remix where it like house drops into something, but so it's a feel it out thing.
Have you had, this is just kind of a quick side question. You probably know this exact answer off the top of your head.
I hope so.
What's that one song that you had that just killed the vibe? Just instantly just dead. Because I have one song, it's like, it always is just And I'm primarily do like house parties. I don't do downtown.
Yeah, 100%. The problem is I'm like choosing from a few.
Yeah.
So, oh no, I don't know which one I want to pick.
What's the first one? Like came to your head when I said that?
The first one that came to my head was, what's the name of it? I'm trying to think. I had it. I have. Oh, what was it? Now it sounds like I didn't have anything in my head. And now I just feel like, no, but anything that's kind of, a Taylor Swift song. It was a Taylor Swift song that I played, and it was in front of other people, and the whole dance floor cleared out. I knew it was Taylor Swift. I just can't think of the song name.
Okay.
Because I was thinking, like, I saw a bunch of girls on the dance floor, and I was like, dude, it's Taylor Swift. Yeah. But with Taylor Swift, there's Taylor Swift songs that all the girls know, and the ones that they're like, this is not the one for right now. Mm-hmm. And I played whatever one was not for right now, and it was not good.
That's funny.
But it's also just, like, anything like this, like, kind of jazzy or, like, something that's just... What's funny is it's never a song in particular. It's a song in the way it feels in the mood that people are in.
Yeah.
And when people are partying, like, you try to throw on like a switch up, like baby, baby, and they're just like, no. They're like, throw house music back on. We're trying to party right now, and you're like, okay, guys. So yeah, but I'm so sorry, I don't know.
No, Taylor Swift is a good enough answer. Yeah. I mean, at least you know.
But
it
was like, it wasn't like 22. It was like the one where you're like,
it's probably like "Shake It Off" is one I played this week, and it went off. Like the whole house just erupted.
Yep. That's a good one.
But
I'm trying to think. I don't remember the name.
But so it's kind of starting out DJing and stuff, though. It's a lot of trial and error, too, I'm guessing. Kind of what hits, what doesn't, at what times, what venues.
100%. I also got lucky to have a start at Barbacoa. And I had a lot of people enjoy me DJing for my personality and what I was kind of behind the DJ board as well. Like, they're kind of like, I'm pretty much dancing the whole time. I'm having so much fun. So, like, when you see something, like, imagine looking at a DJ and he's just standing there. If he's standing there and he plays a song that he just can't, like, he's like, oh my God, I have to do this. And like, someone's like, dude, that's a terrible song. And then they see him not dancing. But if you see me dance into some song that you might not even like, but you see me like gig into it, they're like, you might be like, okay, I can get
up on his vibe.
So I think I got lucky where a lot of opportunities I played, I had a lot of support, and I would always ask my friends or people to come out. And yeah, I got lucky, dude. I think I grew quicker here in Boise. It all worked out perfectly. I was working at Barbacoa. They were talking about needing a DJ up on the rooftop. I'm like, well, I've been DJing. Next thing you know, like, even to talk about, like, even prior, like, first starting at Amsterdam, I never like sent a mix in or anything.
Really?
It's funny. So I got in touch with Keegan, who's the head DJ manager. And he was like, all right, you're going to have to send me a mix. And I was like, thinking about going home. Like, I'm going to have to make a mix for him. Like, what do I want to put in it? Blah, blah, blah. I go out like the next weekend, and we can talk about in a sec about the Z Hero thing. I just knew a few Alpha Zs out on the dance floor that were there. And he's DJing that night. They're DJing because the DJ manager DJs as well. And he saw me talking with a lot of people in the bar. And so he was like, I like the way your personality is. And that's how I got my first gig at Amsterdam, not because of what he heard from me actually DJing. He literally just like, I kind of just trust you. And next thing you know, I'm the head resident DJ there every Friday, Saturday. I wish I could like explain to you, like, and say like, there's like, oh, I did all this crazy hard work. I did learning how to DJ, and just some people would be going out. I'm in my room until 4 a.m, freaking playing on an electronic keyboard thing. Hey, that might not be everyone's forte, but that's what I did. And next thing you know, I started making money off it, and now that's kind of what I do. So,
do you get free drinks too playing?
Well, my girlfriend works there, so so she hooks it up. But no, I have like a 3-drink free tab, kind of 3 or 4.
Cool. That's sweet.
Kind of. And luckily, when you start knowing people, you just start telling people the same shot that you like. And next thing you know, they'll bring it to you every time they come into the bar. So, yeah, there's been a few nights where it's like,
this guy is a marketer.
Yeah. No, honestly, people will come in, and like, when you create a relationship with someone, or like, you know, it's so funny. It's people like, I'm standing there, and the fact that you're a DJ, the fact that you're doing something different than kind of what everyone else is doing in the bar, like, people come up to me, and like, I've had buddies that I know bring and like introduce like their date that they're bringing out downtown to me. And it's like, cause it's like it's like you going to New York. It's like, oh, like I know the DJ a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and I know my buddy.
Yeah.
I'm
like a flex.
And to my buddy, I'm like, neither of us are this cool at all. I'm just playing music right now, and you're on a date. Why are you? But it's funny. Yeah, cool, but it's funny to see that happen occasionally. It's I'm not saying that happens like super often, but it's happened a few times where just people away from like that I know, and like he's like, oh yeah, this is my day. And I'm like, oh, it's such a nice to meet you. And she's like, oh, you know, you're the DJ. That's so cool. It's like, it's just cool to like have that interaction.
Yeah.
And like he takes a shot with me, and we're having fun. And I mean, that's anywhere cool. You go, you want to look like you know people. Right. That's just kind of like I guess a psychology thing, isn't like you know the scene, but
you know the main attraction at the party. So it's
we could jump forward what you're talking. We've been hitting out a little while about the Dylan Francis thing. I guess it kind of goes in line with your, you know, Definitely. You did the Barbacoa, you did Amsterdam, and then all of a sudden I see DJ Moody opening for Dylan Francis
on Halloween weekend.
That's sweet.
Such a unique opportunity. I mean,
how did you secure that?
Honestly, I have to say both. Obviously, like I said, I fit the perfect role for when the spot opened up. So my buddy Blake knew a guy named Hermes who runs All Access Boise, which is the guy who runs the events basically for all of Revolution Center, hiring the talent, etc. And he's texting Blake, who had done a few shows before. Blake's obviously a little bit older, and he's been doing this a while, and he's been doing it for like 10 years. And I'm like this new young gun that's like under him. He's like, he gave me so much advice on DJing. And next thing you know, he's like, yeah, like I'm close to him. He's like my good buddy. He asks the guy, he's like, oh, we need someone who's good at marketing, because like kind of the job of being an opener is you have to promote the show, because that's kind of how you're providing value. And then he's then allowing you to open for a big DJ. So it's kind of like a give and get for both sides. It's like,
you have to provide.
I promote it, get people to come, and you give me the opportunity to play in front of a lot of people and get my name out there. So luckily I'm a marketing student and I happen to be a DJ too. And and then I knew Blake, and through Blake, I then created a relationship with Hermes, who's such an awesome guy. And both of them, and then me and Blake are doing shows together, and next thing you know, we're up on stage. And the best part is it's Halloween weekend. Everyone came out. I think I personally, like, obviously you're not selling to everybody. Like, I think the whole show was 2,200 people. Dang. Sold out. VIP was sold out.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's pretty nerve-wracking.
It's a lot of people there, and we
He's
opened
nervous
right
for the podcast, but 2,200
right?
is nothing, you know.
But see, I'm DJing though. I'm doing something I'm comfortable with, you know. So it's like and like you're planning so much on what you want to play when you're there. It's like you have all these songs in a list. There's not any specific way to play them, but you're just like, this is what I know I want to play, and this is kind of the vibe I want to give. So like you're kind of prepared, you know, you have an idea. But I think the craziest thing about that, my favorite part, is like I met Dylan Francis after, and I like shook his hand and just introduced myself to him. Dude, I'm like walking up to this dude thinking like, oh, dude, this is like, first off, he has 2.5 million followers on Instagram. Like, we all know Dylan Francis is a pretty freaking big DJ.
Yeah.
Like, been doing it forever. David Dobrik Association, like all these big names in social media. And I shake his hand, and he's like, hey, what's up, dude? I'm like, chill out, dude. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this dude that I'm expecting to be some like out of life, like you have to be the craziest dude ever. Obviously he is, but it goes back to it. Dude, he's a good, kind dude. And he was honestly just interested in like, oh, dude, like, good to meet you. And I was like, I walked in the next room, the next changing room, because there's like kind of the three in the back room. Each has a room. And I'm like, I'm sitting there. I'm like, there's no way that was who I just met. Like, I was obviously you expect them to be bigger than life.
Yeah.
And you learn it's like, oh my God, he's just a human, just like me. He's normal. And
you're
it's
walking
like,
up with like the starstruck kind of thought process, and you're like, oh, whoa.
So like, did he say anything? Like, did he watch like your opener, like anything, or was it pretty brief?
It was pretty brief meeting him. Obviously, I was the opener right before him. So as I'm getting off, he's getting ready to go on, and there's like a little 10-minute window.
Well, you have to like hype him up a little bit, right? Because like,
100%. Like when we're getting off stage, we're going like, who's ready for Dylan Francis? Like even when we're starting, we're like, hey, I'm Moody. This is DJ Bond. Like we're about to freaking kill it for you guys. But yeah, you're definitely hyping him up. And I think the best thing about like studio and stuff like that, or audio, for like the second we get off stage, like he has like smoke cannons and all these lights, and his audio's pushed all the way up. And I'm like, why didn't I get a smoke cannon? I want a smoke cannon.
You get at least one.
Yeah, right. At least one of them.
Give me something.
Yeah, but I mean that's the whole point. I mean, you work hard to be the main act, because when you're the main act, you're putting on the huge show. That's why people are going. You know.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But it was cool. A story for ticket wise is because I had to use the kind of marketing and sales side, reaching out to a bunch of people to sell tickets. I sold 130 or it was like 120 to 130 tickets for the show personally, like out of my apartment, like putting all the tickets into baggies. And like the next closest was like 30, 35, the next DJ who sold tickets as well, like other openers.
How many were there?
Openers?
Yeah.
It was me, it was one other dude and his buddy, and then me and so 3 in total.
Okay.
3 in total. 3 acts. Me and Blake were one together, but then the other 2 guys as well. So yeah, but you had 3 guys, and out of them 2, like they were selling, like I sold 3 acts them combined, and that's neither a flex nor a throw a shade at the other openers, but it felt really good to kind of. I felt like I was playing to 125 people that were there for me as well.
Yeah.
So it felt really cool, but yeah, that overall experience of doing a show, I've never experienced anything like that. Like just the pure excitement and joy of doing it it's something else. It's kind of like going up on stage or going on Ellen, like the Ellen show. It's just. It's such your own moment, and you feel so just like grateful to be up there and to be doing something like my camera guy, Louie, who does a lot of the camera work for D-Sig, has done a lot of camera work for Boise State. He's like, first few years of college, he was rapping, and he's like pretty good at freaking making music and rapping.
Yeah, I know.
And I would always look at Louie, and what's funny is I look at him and he's like videoing one of our shows, and like we're about to go on. I'm like, I don't ever think I told you this, Louie, but like, I thought about DJing because Louis rapped, and like we were just chilling back at his place after a party or something, and he'd be rapping and people would be like, yo,
dude,
that's
he'd always
sick.
freestyle.
He kills it. Him and Vince, bro, they kill it. And I'm like, I want something where people look at me and are like, dude, that's badass.
Yeah, dude,
and DJing became that thing. Yeah,
that's sweet.
I was like, I want my kind of niche thing that's like, I'm spitting everywhere this water's gonna be, but that makes me a little different than the normal person. And yeah, to be playing shows 9, like a year and a half-ish into DJing, uncommon. I knew the right people, I was in the right spot at the right time, and I took advantage of every opportunity I got, and luckily it's all just really panned out for me. So
that's dope.
Sweet.
Yeah. I got a quick question, kind of back to the Dylan Francis thing. Show that big, you know, what did you say, 2,000 plus?
Yeah.
Are you pre-recording your mix, or are you doing it live?
Absolutely live. So I maybe set up cue points, but there's obviously that big stigma where people are, I'm not good enough to pre-record everything. And also I don't have, like, I'm new to producing music, and like, I'm not up there playing my own songs. Like I can understand if a DJ, like if you put like 40 hours into making an actual song and you're up on stage and you have a pre-recorded songs and you're playing some of your own songs.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. But like when I'm up there, I was so nervous, but like there's cue points where like I know where I want to mix out, but every swiping and lining all the BPMs up and switching them and everything for an hour or however long we played, I can confidently say I was doing all that, which is nice to say because there's a stigma that if you're not doing that, you're kind of a phony for not
like the big booty mix guys. I don't know if you've watched any of their live streams.
No,
we paid for one of them one time, like had like a watch party. We paid for it 3 times, didn't even get to watch it. But I watched like it after, and they didn't even have XLRs hooked into their boards, but they're acting the whole time like they're mixing.
Really?
And they were just playing the song over the live stream. I'm like, this is so corny. Like we tried to pay $30 for this to watch this, and they're not even doing it.
Which they don't make all that live.
No, that's all
like
produced.
That's all produced stuff because there's so many different like audios and acapellas and components to that. But
goes back to marketing. Like, you know, good for them for trying to sell a live stream for $30 to all these college kids. Yeah, acting like they're DJing, doing it live. Like, you know, good for you guys.
Yeah, No, I whenever I've had a show, I opened up for Dylan or Flux Pavilion before I ever. So that was my first show, which was still like 1,200 people, same spot. Revolution Center is kind of where I get to play. Yeah, it's the preparation of it and the excitement leading up to it. And like, I thought I was going to be so nervous, but I think I'm really doing something that's me. And like, I'm not I think that's the coolest part about it is I'm not faking anything. When I'm DJing, I'm just who I thought I probably always was meant to be. I like dancing. I love being an extrovert. I love being around people. If I was at a party or a house party, dude, I'm gigging in the middle of the circle of people. Like, I love that.
If you're not DJing it.
If I'm not DJing it now.
That's right.
What's funny, I didn't even DJ that many house parties like at all. I would bring my DJ equipment over, and my buddies would be like, "Moody, we don't want to hear you DJ right now."
I'm in the same.
They were like, "Yeah."
When you're starting,
I'll tell you right now, Rylan. They would all be like, my buddies have videos of like, "Here Moody goes again." I'm fucking like, like obviously I got better over time, but like next thing you know, they're starting to come see me on the rooftop. I'm like, Moody, this is sick. All of a sudden, I'm in one of the main bars, and I'm a resident of the main bars downtown. And I was like, dude, Moody, it's so cool that you're doing this. And no shade, I'm sure all my buddies thought or believed that I would at some point, make it further than I was. Yeah. But in the beginning, it's not the greatest sounding thing to listen to some dude who's learning how to DJ.
Yeah, right.
It's like, dude, sometimes I miss beat match something or something, two things banged together in a way that aren't sounding well, but yeah, it was really funny.
Yeah. So I'm guessing the 2200 at Dylan Francis was like the largest crowd you've ever played in
so far. Yeah, so those were my first two big shows. I want to talk to Hermes and get on more shows, but it's just all kind of, like I said, it's communication, who you know and who will let you get an opportunity.
You know what would be sick is the Boise State basketball team's been having like live DJs apparently.
My buddy Freddie, who DJs at Roddy's, and he used to DJ at Amsterdam before me. He's actually one of the head DJs for the same company that I'm working for as well, that DJs those downtown bars. Freddie does those shows.
That's cool. Yeah. Say like a football game. Events. Football game would be sick too.
Oh my God.
Like halftime? Oh, yeah. That'd be dope.
That, I think, so I'm getting, for me, production, I have to start making music, because that's when you move from more of just a DJ into being like an artist. Yeah. And that's where I think I would have the most shine personally, because right now I'm playing other people's music, but I think my personality would be able to back basically if I was making my own music. And let's say my song is somewhat legible and you like it. I am confident in my ability to like make something that would be like, oh, people like this, but then people also then meet me and they're like, they can correlate like, oh, I like Max and his music. And that's how I think I'd be able to grow the most.
Right.
Because I don't ever see my like, maybe, but like James Hype, like crazy just DJ mixing. He's now obviously producing more, but he was known for mixing with 4 decks and like doing all this crazy transitions. And it's like, I want to do that and be a good DJ and mixer, obviously, but I would love to produce, and I want to like press play on a song one day, and it's something that I put hours and hours making with maybe some good singer or something, and I'm standing there in front of hella people and they're just singing it back to you. If that ever, that's like
festival vibe.
Dude,
like
that is peak for me.
Yeah.
I don't
100,000 people.
Yeah, I don't want to be a wedding DJ. I don't want a birthday party. Like I'm doing special events and stuff like that, like formals when I'm obviously a smaller DJ, but I want to be like, I'm getting on this plane. We're going to Miami. We're going to here. We're going back to Idaho. You're playing in your hometown, or San Jose is my hometown, but your college town where you started.
So you do plan on starting to kind of produce and make your own music?
Right? I have to. Like I have Ableton. I have all the tools to do it.
Can you sing it all?
Baby, yeah, you went that. Someone clipped that.
Didn't you?
Just delete that out of there. But
that'll be our preview for that.
Right? For yeah. Sadly, no.
So Moody song coming 2022. DJ Moody.
If 2022, hopefully. But if anyone's tried to make music, it is complicated and
does sound really
takes
hard.
time to learn, and you actually have to understand. Like, what's funny is like I give so much credit to people that like people see these big DJs and you see people that are just like taking tequila shots and raging in front of people. Dude, making a song is not easy. Understanding music theory, what key it's in, highs and lows, flats, mid, like different artists bring in a vocal, like a real life vocal from somebody who's actually saying that, mixing that into a song, pitching it up, queuing it down.
I don't know.
Oh my God. And then you can do that with like using Splice to have different packs to like fluctuate music to different frequencies. Because like if you think about someone strumming a guitar, playing a drum, and like making like a rock hit, those are components that you put together. Electronic music, you can walk up to like a frequency board and make 50 million different sounds. And some dude, like you have all these like Skrillex or Deadmau5. Have you ever, like Deadmau5 has like a $16 million music lab basically, and it's just every single type of electronic like synthesizer. Oh my God, like the level of putting all that together and then like pressing play and it sounds good.
Yeah,
all credit in the world to those people. That is not easy. So yeah, it's a skill set just like anything else though.
Right. Yeah. Kind of going back to that crowd size real quick. So 2,200 is the largest you played in front of. Is it like, what's the difference between playing to a smaller crowd and a crowd like that? Because I've heard like celebrities say, or singers, like performing in front of thousands of people is easy. Talking in a group of like 20 people 100%. Is nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Being at Amsterdam where I'm on like big show, I'm up on stage. No one's coming up to you while you're playing a show going, yo, can you play Taylor Swift? No, no one's doing that. Like, I'm up there, I have what I have, and it's an hour, and it goes by like that.
You only play for an hour?
Yeah.
At Amsterdam?
Oh, at Amsterdam, I play for 5 hours.
I was just saying,
yeah,
no way
I'm at Amsterdam I'm mixing from 9 until 2 in the morning, and it's actually probably the longest of any club downtown.
Yeah.
All the other clubs, like
9's pretty early
yeah,
to start.
Roddy's, and because it's a lounge, there's people in it a little bit earlier, but like Strange Love and stuff, they don't open until 10 or like 9ish, but like the DJ starts at 10, Roddy's 10, I think Karma 10 too.
Yeah.
And it's just like, 5 hours of music, and in the hour you play on stage in front of 2,000 people, I have every banger I want to play. I have like queued up points or I just have like little cues. I'll put a yellow cue point here in the song, so when I'm looking at the screen and the yellow, I know it's starting to fade out. I know I have 30 seconds to like hop on the mic or something. Mm-hmm. I'm mixing 5 hours, especially during crunch time. I'm mixing songs in every minute and 30 seconds. Like, I'm having news, because like you can't play a whole song downtown or you're not going to stimulate people. 9 o'clock, people are having a drink. I'm not going to switch your song every minute, because you're going to be like, what is going on over here? So
no one's
in the beginning, you're fluctuating songs in and out. You're playing a little bit slower music, a lot more just like chill stuff.
It's also good time to test stuff out too.
100%
at the beginning of parties and stuff.
Yep. But yeah, during crunch time, like, you're hitting all your Fisher songs. You're hitting On My Mind by Diplo and all them. You're hitting all the stuff that people know while mixing, and I mix in just so much new house that I just find, because house is just such a growing genre now, that dude, every day I'll look and I'll be like, 6 new songs, and they're all badass, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta play that tonight. So, but biggest crowd, 2,200 people, gone like that. Hour, it goes by super easy. I'm DJing for 5 hours. People can come up to me, talk to me. I have to interact with people. It's much more personal. I'm this close to 100 people standing in front of me, and at any time they feel like they can come give their 2 cents on what I should be doing. And sometimes you're breaking hearts, and sometimes you're pleasing them. So
everybody thinks they'd be a better DJ than you, and they're coming up to you trying to.
And also, you're in a space where it's not just like some person's on the street like coming up to you. Like, these people have alcohol in them. They're drinking. Right. You're at a club. They're like, let's go tell the DJ to play this, because when you're drinking, sorry, this was so far away, but I want this and I want it now. Yeah. It's kind of the mindset.
Of entitlement.
Yeah, if you don't play it now, I'm leaving. Type vibe.
Which has been told and said to me to my face. I've only happened one time, but a lady, I didn't play her song. Like, older lady, like, which I don't want to say, kind of. Like, I don't want to say older and be like, oh, she's 45. That's not that old. But she was 45 compared to like who else was in the bar. Mm-hmm. Just at the crunch time, there's a lot of college students that come in during that time, and everyone was dancing, was kind of younger, and then it was her just in the middle. You could tell that she was just in a whole nother planet. Just probably had a lot to drink. And she came, and it was like every 15 seconds that I wouldn't play her song, she'd keep up. And at one point I was like, hey,
what song was it? You remember?
It was Taylor Swift's, whatever. No, I'm just kidding. It was just a Latin song, which I love playing Latin music, but the time that we're in, it was like,
wasn't right.
She was like, oh my, like, this is like my husband, like me and my husband's song. Like, it was like we played at our wedding, and I looked it up and I listened to it, and it was like slow dancing song, and it's 11:30 at Amsterdam. I'm not playing a slow dance song because you're gonna clear it all out. And she like stayed all the way till 2, and she's like, the security guards are like having to tell her to leave, and she's just like staying on the couch. And as she's walking out, she goes, hey DJ, you suck, fuck you. And I was like, look at her, I go, have a good night. And I was just like, hey, kill with kindness, even if it's negative.
Keep the positive energy.
Now what about tips? Because I mean, money talks sometimes when the song request comes.
That's, oh my God, that's so I thought you were just going to talk out tips in general. Quite frankly, I don't even. People might. If you hand me a $20 bill, I'll play your song.
Yeah, I mean,
money does
pretty
talk.
Straight up
Absolutely.
DJ.
$20 minimum though. Anything less now?
Yeah, kind of. I put it in the queue sooner.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely.
If you give you $1,
that's a good question. $20, it's the next song.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't care what I'm playing.
I had a dude hand me $200 to hold his coat.
No.
I'm like, dude, I'll wear your coat for $200. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I was like, $200.
I'll get it clean for you.
Dude, yeah, literally. I'm like, dry clean. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Let's go. But yeah. $20, like someone hands me a $5, I'm like, 3 songs away. We'll see if we can do it. But it's usually late night too. People usually know
when they're requesting.
And this is where I've been lucky. Is like I've been lucky enough to build the dance floor during prime time. And when everyone's dancing, a lot of people actually don't really come up to you and ask for song requests.
Yeah, because they're
like he's doing a good job.
Vibe,
if there's other people dancing, they're like, oh yeah, he's doing a pretty good job. So luckily,
you don't want to be the guy who requests a song and then have it be terrible and be like, then the DJ's like,
like
all right, this was this guy, that guy requested it.
Yeah. Hey, that's the thing though, is when people do request a song and it absolutely just
it's an easy way out.
Find them.
Yeah.
Where'd they go? You can't find them. They left the bar because they know they just tore this place apart. But
they already left the club. They're like,
way easier to play in front of a lot of people. Personally, it feels like. Also, I wouldn't say I enjoy it more even either. Like I think it's equivalent. I just like playing in general, but it goes by so fast, and it's usually not as long either. It's an hour. You're playing in front of a lot of people. You have your moment, and then you get off.
That's chaotic and
100%.
How would you kind of like compare your sets, I guess, from like Amsterdam to like Dylan Francis? Did you have to like tailor it to like more of Dylan Francis's style, or do you kind of that kind of like your time to shine?
No, it's definitely your time to shine, and I know what Dylan Francis plays. He uses a lot of well-known songs and mixes them into kind of drops he's either made or songs that he knows. But yeah, what's funny, I don't know how this is a thing, but like I feel like house is a pretty well-known genre.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I started playing house at Amsterdam like to the level that I've played it, and people are like, "Oh my god, we've never heard this before." I'm like, "What
really,
dude? I'm from California.
I feel like it's California,
San Francisco,
like
bro."
Hear it.
I'm like,
San Francisco, where's your disco?
Literally, bro. Dom Doll. I mean, these are all the people that like. I'm like, dude, house music is not new, but it's new here technically.
Newish,
Newish to downtown, I guess you could say. Like Amsterdam used to be super tropical house, like all the time. Like it was a different type of house. I'm playing like straight deep house, like freaking like where people are like, let's party.
Mm-hmm.
And
it circles back to that thing you were talking about at the beginning of Strange Love being built for Vegas.
Yes,
I mean they just
and
it wasn't done right properly the first time.
It's fully right now. It's like fully hip hop, full like Lumba and reggaeton. That's like kind of like the main vibe there. And
we can let's bounce away from DJing for a second.
100%. Sorry, if I take too much time or anything,
don't even worry about it. It's the reason we got a podcast.
Yeah, we're on your time, kind of. So,
but, as long as you're late for that basketball game, right? How long we stay here.
So we're looking for now.
But kind of going back, I know Ross kind of said, "Do you sing?" That was a joke question, but I'm pretty sure I was at the Z Hero event. I think I was doing the sound engineering for it. Didn't you sing for your Z Hero like talent show?
Oh God!
It was like
the song was playing.
Right?
We were. It was like like a lip sync.
Yeah.
So I sounded like
it's Camila Cabello.
Camila Cabello.
Yeah.
Who can sing?
Yeah.
And so I also was wearing a dress and a wig.
I don't remember that.
And then took all my clothes off. So. Yeah, that was. Thanks for bringing that event up. I appreciate it. This is definitely what I want to talk about right now.
That's how you win Z.
Hey, you won, so
it's true. You got to risk for the biscuit.
How was that experience, or what did it entail?
Can you explain Z Hero too a little bit?
I'll go in depth on both. And if that event didn't show you that I liked the starlight on me, I had and we had our pledges at the time, and it was like 18 of them, and we're all dressed up in dresses and stuff. We had a full ass routine.
Oh yeah.
For that final event.
Fully rehearsed and everything.
Fully rehearsed, like, oh yeah, we were ready to go, and I like dived off the stage at the end, like.
It was a
crowd surf. Or you just jumped
battle,
off.
Right?
It was lip sync battle. Okay. So all the people who were in the competition, they had to lip sync the song, do a full choreographed thing. Apparently, I didn't understand the memo, and I did way more than I probably should have. Like all the other guys, it was like either just them or like a few other people. I had a freaking like production crew rocking in, like holding lights. No,
I predict like remember yours specifically being like way over the top. You killed it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you're gonna do something, do it 110%. So,
exactly.
But then Z Hero itself is such a cool opportunity I had in college. I was close with a lot of people in Alpha Z already. We had Kendra, like all of our sweethearts have like been pretty much Alpha Z's, so we did a lot of events with them and stuff like that. A lot of people that I just created relationships with were in Alpha Z, and so when I ran, I just knew a lot of them. And then once I became Z Hero, so if anyone who doesn't know, Z Hero is like sororities and fraternities. They have positions like we have queens, and I was kind of like the Z Hero is like their king. So you're kind of like the one dude in the fraternity, and it ended up being me and Tyler Cutler from ICAP.
I think I remember that.
Was it a tie?
Yeah, it was both of us. And it just allowed you, like, they throw their events on campus and we help support them. And I was their Z Hero during COVID, so it actually really was not that great. They probably are a little bit bummed by that, like, because I thought I was going to be a pretty damn good one too. Because my personality, like, dude, it's a little hard to be around 180 girls. I'm not gonna lie, and it wasn't like that. Like I wasn't around 180 girls, like, oh my god, all these girls. No, but like I'm like still like doing these like weird ass events where like I have to like take a picture with every Z I can. So every girl on campus, I'm like just taking pictures all day. Yeah, but running for that, it was such a cool opportunity because I got to meet so many of them, and now I go downtown and I see a lot of them, and they're just such good friends, and it's been cool to kind of have that. It was such a social expansion for people that I knew in, because this Alpha Z knows this Alpha Chi, this Alpha Z knows this Teak. You just start meeting everybody, and you start getting in different groups that you weren't in before. So it was honestly one of my probably best decisions.
Yeah, because I mean, you guys won that after AJ's kind of run, right?
Yes, yeah.
I was gonna
right
say,
after him.
Shout out AJ.
Right, because I remember after he won the year before you guys, all of a sudden, like when I was around him and stuff, so many people coming up to him.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, that happening, and then kind of COVID happened, and then I turned 21. It was cool for a little bit to go downtown and like,
dude, your stars lined up.
Always have people.
No, dude, that's how it has happened too. Is like, you have to put in the work to create the opportunity that if that door does open, that you can go through it.
Yeah.
I started DJing. I got lucky. I knew Blake. I was busting my butt, bussing tables. I was working like 4 or 5 days a week, busting tables and going to school. I'll tell you right now, working at Barbacoa, that place is hard to work at. All the people that do work at Barbacoa, dude, they hustle. You're there at 3, you're there till 12. You have a 9-hour shift. You're bussing tables. Every table, you work with 2 servers. You have 10 tables. That water gets below half, you're refilling the water. This table, that guy's down with his plate. It's high-end dining. It's professional. There's drama just like any other restaurant. There's relationships there, like crazy stuff. But I knew Blake, started wanting to become a server. I was training under him. I started hearing about DJing, and next thing you know, I was in the right door, walked through that door. Next thing you know, I DJ. Luca, who's one of the managers for Amsterdam, saw me DJing up at Barbacoa. That connection opened up, walked through that door, and then it just I was in the right moment to walk through each door I walked through, and now I'm on a sick ass podcast with you boys, and there we are. You know, we keep going up. We keep going up.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously you probably ran for Z Hero because I mean you're in DC getting Greek life, and I'm sure that's how you kind of met people to even run in the first place.
100%. Yeah.
How's Greek life experience for you these last 4 years?
What's funny is it's changed a lot, and honestly, so coming in, and obviously I told myself I was never going to join a fraternity.
Same.
I was like, that's not my style. If I would have gone to ASU, I wouldn't be in a fraternity. That's just not me. But I think the way Greek life is here is a little different than,
for sure.
Yeah,
very non-traditional.
Very non-traditional, and you guys know the name Dom Goody by any chance?
Yep.
Yeah. So Dom Goody, his dad coached me in basketball. Like me and Goody grew up together, basically. Okay. Like I'm talking like known him since I was a kid. Like his dad coached me in like basketball when we were younger. I come to school, he's the only name I know that goes here. And I'm like, I don't even know Dom went here, but like I knew him. I'm like, oh shit, cool. I have somebody to talk to. He's in D-Sig, and he ended up, dude, I like dead rushed only D-Sig, and I only went out because he sent me a text like 30 minutes before their event, like, yo, meet at the B, like just come see if you like it. I just got lucky and met the guys and ended up liking them because, there was no shot you were going to get me to rush. But luckily he did. And so I joined D-Sig, and I think from a social standpoint and just meeting people, dude, I met some of my best friends in college from being in a fraternity. So I'm obviously forever grateful for that. But the rough side of it now is as I matured and grew older, and I'm a senior in college now, COVID kind of hit, and I saw this trickle effect where I just am like, I'm so terribly not involved anymore.
Are you still like active though? Like, are you still?
I'm still in it. I'm still paying for it. I'm still paying for it. Not really. They would tell you not, because like I was like so behind on dues, because like I was just like, dude, I'm not thinking about this. Like I'm thinking about a job after college. I have this new cool hobby that now turned side hustle / main job. Like it's something like, and so, and yeah, it quickly turned. And also like a lot of my buddies that I was best friends with, they also weren't doing a lot in the fraternity either. So like I was like, dude, I found my core friends. So why am I?
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of how it goes once you get older and
once you kind of hit junior year. For
there's definitely a path out, but I think I regrettably a bit hit it harder. I love that I was in it, and I'm glad that I'll always have been in it. But I definitely wish I could have had the effect that I think a lot of older guys in the fraternity had on me. and that kind of stuck around and like really like kind of showed you the way. Yeah, I like my little Max Bauer, love him. I don't really talk to him that much, but like it's not that I don't like. I just have so much going on. I'm not saying I'm like the world's busiest person, but like I just started focusing on myself. Like as you start to do, because life starts to hit you a little bit. You're like, oh shit, I got real shit coming here soon. Like I'm paying all my own bills. I'm out of college. I need to get a job. And so yeah.
I mean, I think it's like that in most Greek life. I mean, we're kind of the same way. Yeah. Last couple of years, the seniors were not very active at all. It's a little better this year.
Yeah.
You know, we're all seniors and we all still at least show up for most stuff. So.
And also, I work every week. Sorry, no, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying I haven't been around a lot.
Yeah.
Major's like trying to hype up Ross. Like,
well, I wasn't necessarily talking about Ross. Senior class as a whole. But
Well, I mean, I'm even for the longest time, like barbacoa, the money days is the weekend. That's when everyone's going out and eating. So there's days where people would be out partying and I'd show up in my work clothes at 1 a.m. when I got off work. Yeah. And so I was working a lot of weekends. And so I felt that's when the distance first started getting created. And I work every Friday, Saturday, and I'm there till 2. My girlfriend's there counting her money because she works in Amsterdam too until 3 a.m. So I'm going home at 3. No one of the guys are awake. Everyone's home doing their own thing. Yeah, so it's fun now because I get to see them because they'll come downtown, a lot of the older guys, and like I'll see everybody. But yeah, there was a period of time where I was working and like, dude, I'm working the weekends. Like I'm not going to house parties. And then now being 21 and able to go downtown, I'm now also like, I don't want to go to a house party. I have a girlfriend. I'm not going to go downtown go to a house party and be like, oh, like, I'm not going to be the guy like sitting up on the wall just drinking a beer, like looking, like praying to see what the options are. Like, I mean, as you do, it's like you're looking for somebody that's super cute. Like, I found that. I found that at my workspace. So
as you get older, it's kind of weird.
That's just it's just kind of the way it is. I mean, sounds like you kind of hit it earlier than most, but that doesn't mean you don't care or anything. It just that's how life goes.
If any of the D-Sig boys are listening, but no, honestly, I would definitely say like my care for a lot of those younger guys, like I wish them so much the best, obviously, just from being in the fraternity, but also like I would definitely probably apologize to them. Like a lot of the younger guys right now, like all of our e-boards are sophomores.
That's kind of the same boat we're in.
Dude, and since I've been out and when COVID hit, like
COVID,
dude,
that's gonna be
it's which you can't argue with. It's the biggest part that obviously creates some separation. I showed up to our first intramural basketball game last Wednesday. Half my basketball team that I'm playing with from my fraternity introduced themselves to me.
No. I was gonna say
that was a little embarrassing because they come up to me and they're like, "Oh, you're Moody, like Max, like we know you," and I'm like,
"Who are you?"
Yeah. I got lucky and a lot of them knew that we never really met, and they like, "Hey, I know you, but like I know you don't know me, but and I'm like, dude, I'm sitting there though, and me and my buddy Will, who's obviously my age as well, I'm like, we're both like, dude, that's not good. That is not good, but. Yeah, so a little bit of regrets there, but Greek life as a whole is just, it's been so amazing here at Boise State.
Yeah. So would you recommend it then?
Would I recommend going Greek?
Yeah.
100%.
Especially here.
Yeah,
dude, here you kind of have to.
Dude, I met some of my closest friends and people that have had such an impact on going through ups and downs of life just in college in general. Like, a lot of stuff right now is like so temporary, but things feel like they're really important at times. And like to have your boys, to have the people that were there for you, and like, also, when you go through the rush process, even having, it was 23 of us at the end of it, dude, I have 23 people in my life that I might not talk to, like, at all really anymore. A lot of us, like, go our separate ways, but we have more in common in college, and we can talk about it, and, like, if you ever all go back together and crack a beer, it's a great time.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
Those are the guys in 20 years, you all meet back up.
It's rare you can find those type of people and, like, create those relationships, and rushing just automatically makes you no one else is going to chapter or little Greek learnings with each other about anything else, so it's like you're close with
you
have those little bonds.
People who are kind of anti-Greek life and say, I'm not buying my friends. It's like, okay, maybe technically you're buying your friends, but it's well worth it because it's still genuine relationships.
Okay, I'm paying for my formal. You need money to go to events and stuff. Like what do they expect? But also it's a foundation. It's a huge thing. There's charities.
It's being a part of something bigger than yourself for the first time for most people.
100%.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, if I paid for the friends that I have in my life right now, worth every penny.
Exactly.
I have good friends in my life right now. I'm a happy human. Yeah. I'm sorry, but if that's paying to you, then you guys should pay for friends. Because if you're worried about paying for your friends, I'm over here having a great time and happy. So I made the right choice. So
you seem like you're killing it.
I would definitely recommend it for sure.
Yeah. So to wrap up the pod here, Obviously, you want to make DJing kind of your career full time. What are your next steps post college?
So what's funny is the answer to that I hope is always yes, and because it's been kind of my main job now, but after college, hey, thank you parents. I've had the I guess the opportunity, I could say, and I'm very grateful. Like I haven't had to pay for every single thing in college, like at all, really. Like like I've had my rent paid for. That's a heavy expense. That's about to hit me May 8th after graduation.
Literally, next day.
And so you kind of have to do this, like, if I become just the hugest DJ in the next 4 months, yeah, absolutely. But right now I'm working with well, here it is, why you should go Greek. My buddies right now, I haven't done like a crazy job search. I'm making pretty good money DJing right now. I reached out to one of my buddies who has a few people that I know that work at a company downtown Boise, and I don't know if it's 100%, but the talks are good, and what I've talked to this company, it seems pretty promising. I basically might get a job through somebody that I met in my fraternity, and strictly off networking. But so I'm trying to get a job downtown because obviously I want to use my degree a bit, and I mean any corporate experience, if anything, just meeting people in Boise and having a job like that, fun. If it doesn't last forever, totally fine with that, because I want to start making. I think, well, you guys know who Jay Shetty is at all?
I don't
know.
He also has a podcast. I'm reading his book right now. It's called like Think Like a Monk. He basically lived for a monk for 3 years.
Oh, I've heard of the book.
Heard this guy, but his name's Jay Shetty, and super like exceptional guy. But I watched part of his podcast, and I watched one episode of his podcast because I started reading his book. I'm like, oh, I'll give him a listen. And he talks about how everyone needs a job that pays the bills, but most people also, you need a job that helps you pursue a passion. Dude, that's gonna pay the bills. I'm gonna work as whatever growth development, finding basically leads for the salespeople in the beginning, and then hopefully become a sales dude myself. But yeah, DJing, it's for that to grow, I would have to start producing and becoming an artist myself. And once it's so much obviously the music, but I also think it's so much just the personality behind the person. You gotta like the person. Why is Diplo and some of these big DJs, like, there's a lot of good music, but you watch some of these big DJs because it's like, dude, it's kind of fun to watch that guy do what he's doing. Like, I enjoy
Steve Aoki throwing cake at people. Like,
yeah, that's
best example you could have given. Like, that you find these niche groups and you have these people that are kind of like something you can look up to, something that like allows you to enjoy yourself. And I'll tell you right now, if I make a good song and then people are like, yo, I'm spitting everywhere, dude. This is like, my mouth's getting dry and it's like starting to like project everywhere.
You're good.
I'm like spitting on the mic. But yeah, so I guess to sum it up, but yes, I would love my dream is to definitely have DJ be a full-time gig if I ever got to that point.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put in the work to be able to do that. Like, I'm committed to doing that. I think I can do it. I'm confident in myself. But yeah, I just kind of have learned, and I think like when you meet Dylan Francis and he's like not this bigger than life guy, I honestly think that people really can just do whatever you want. It's just putting the time in to do it. You got to learn it. It's a skill set, learning how to make music, talking to the right people, networking, getting your foot in the door in the bigger spots. You just work your way up, just like anything else. It's scary because, yeah, that bill's going to hit. Do I know DJing is going to be like the best financial decision for myself? Probably not at the beginning, but does it have opportunity for huge payouts? And I travel the world and I'm like a world big, huge DJ.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
so
definitely.
Everyone needs a goal that they're continuously chasing. And now that's my one for sure.
You have that degree, so you're always going to have the fallback.
Exactly.
So. Yep.
As much as I've been on the phone with my mom and yelled at her like, dude, college is stupid, I don't need it, blah, 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 blah. But I'm very happy that I get it in May. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, once we're at the finish line, it's like, and kind of worth it now.
Also, this might sound also very philosophical and cliche, but keep on learning though. Like, there's so much stuff where like they talk about like keep 20 to 30 to keep investing in yourself, because a lot of people, you finish school and it's just like, I'm never gonna learn again. Like, I'll read some books, but you got to keep kind of investing in your knowledge, so that way when you hit your 30s, blah, 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 it's time to just grow off knowledge that you've consumed. Because, like, you learn so much in college, but I'll tell you right now, I don't think I'm using 95% of the things I've learned in college. I'm not using my French class that I took freshman year that I got a C in. A lot of my courses that I'm taking, blah, 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 marketing. Classes. Yeah. Uniform Foundations, I love that my comic book class was cool.
Dude, Dame. Shout out Dame.
Shout out Dane. He was awesome.
Yeah.
But you start learning about things that are much more whole-rounded person lessons rather than stuff you learn in a textbook. And if you can invest in that type of learning, and like, I'll tell you right now, I didn't read a damn book after high school or even through like middle school. Like they like give you medals for reading. I would read books. So they gave me a medal. But
or you can just say you read it, or you got to write a.
Have you read all the textbooks in college?
No,
I haven't.
No, I have not.
I have not bought some.
I haven't even bought a textbook in college.
I haven't read a book since like eighth grade.
I don't know. I guess from DJ Moody to the world, but like, I want to make sure I keep learning, and this is just a precedent for myself to like hold me to a standard. But I hope everyone can do it. Like I feel like some people stop learning, and like you get your degree, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna start something that's what I think I want to do. But it's like I feel like you kind of have to keep exploring a bit.
Yeah, don't go into a slump and do the 9 to 5 and don't.
But credit though, hey, the 9 to 5 is never something to look at. That's like there's people who make great money in 9 to 5. It gives you the benefits.
I just meant in the sense of like
100%.
being in a routine and kind of not stimulating yourself.
But have that 9 to 5, but maybe you like to go surfing every once in a while.
Right.
Go golfing. Go
have your hobbies.
But like
start a podcast.
Read a book that has nothing to do with what you do every single day. Yeah. Like, dude, freaking read Cinderella, but like a fan fiction. Like, who knows? Like, you never know where. Like, you could read something.
You never know.
And you hear people that will be like, "Yo, I read this one line in a book and it completely changed my life." And it's like, dude, what? Like, even someone saying that like just motivates me to be like, dude, what are the chances? It's just you gotta take the chances and Will Smith on the other side, like the other side of fear.
One last question before I know Dana's trying to wrap.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm like talking about.
Oh no, we're all good.
Don't even worry about it. This is dope. But
still got 2 hours till game time.
How'd you come up with your DJ name? That's my last question.
So, this is going to be the easiest answer we've had all evening. So, my name is Max Moody. No, it's a good question, but the reason why is funny. My name is Max Moody, so I went by Moody. I thought the X's looked way cooler over the O's. Quite frankly, if I ever, I was like, you ever remember those old gamer tags where like you would like play Call of Duty? It'd be like something XXX or like slash or something. Dude, I was just like, the X's think cool, and like I always thought about having a T-shirt with Moody on it, and there was like a smiley face, and then the O's were X's, so it was like So
have you ever thought about putting the X's in the O's?
X's in the O's,
like as a logo. So then you still know, like, you know,
because do people
as
say
you're getting
like,
bigger, obviously people might know that you're Moody.
Dude, this is what, and this is why you go on podcasts and you go to your comfort zone, because I'm going to do that now, and people won't ask me if it's Moody anymore, because they ask me if it's MXXDY, because it makes sense. You're so right.
That's what I figured.
Dude, you just might have just solved my biggest marcking problem.
If you need a manager, I'm still free.
Yes.
I can dip this podcast at any time.
Dude, that was sick. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, that was
a great idea.
My question was like, do people like get confused on 100%. What your name is?
Early on, 100%, people were like, "What the hell?" But as it's said more, and also a lot of people know, like, it says like DJ Moody, but then like in my bio on Instagram or stuff, it says Max Moody. Like you can kind of usually, but hey, the biggest thing in marketing is
DJ MXXDY,
which is funny, and that still works because I am mixing. So it's like
true. That is true.
Yeah, but it's like, how would you type that out if you're like searching your name on Spotify? Like, do they have O's with X's in it?
No, you just got to know that that his logo when he builds his brand.
Yeah, it's just the logo.
Okay.
The profile picture.
I'm thinking too much into it then.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, it's a fair point. But like, I always thought, even like the idea of singing, like imagine like singing, or imagine like us having this podcast, and a year from now, like you hear a song and you're just like, you see Moody like on a cool song. You know? Like, I think. So I really got into it. Producing is the next step, DJing wise, and then oh my god, that was the sickest idea ever. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to talk to Louis, call him right now, be like, "Yo, we got a new marketing strategy." So, but yeah,
was your when you did Dylan Francis? Sorry, this off topic. Your that face sticker
you
have, was that on the LED screens? Or like,
no,
did you get to pick your design, or what was that?
That's so funny. So I had a guy reach out to me on Instagram, and he does like hand drawings. It's like I don't know how to like pronounce it. It's like Ugerandra. So like it's like the hardest way to say it. But he like did this mock up of it, and I literally took a selfie of myself and sent it to him and said, and then my brother for Christmas, this most recent Christmas, is the one who printed them out as stickers and put little icons in the eye. But for the shows, my buddy Louis made all graphics because he goes to Boise State and does graphic design and stuff like that. So he
you have like moving graphics and stuff, or were they just like pictures and?
Ours were kind of basic, so for the first show we had just 3 graphics where it is my buddy's Bond. It said Bond on it, it said Moody, and then it had both of us, and they'd switch between the 3, so it looked like it was moving.
Okay.
But yeah, the next level, like if you're gonna be somewhere and you're kind of like the main, more cooler moving stuff here to come. But yeah, and then for Halloween for Dylan Francis, it was 4 different logos, and they were all switching through them all.
You have to go to like meetings, or we can talk about this after when we wrap. But you have to like go to meetings, like plan that shit. Or like you just give it to him and say.
I text Louis and he makes them. And
like no, like more like the venue side.
Oh, for what? In what way?
Like, hey, I have these 4 logos with my name. Like, the guy who was ever running it.
Yeah, beforehand. So before you have a big show, let's say we go on at 8:45. I'm there at 6 o'clock for sound check, and you're getting all the equipment set up. Yeah, totally.
So sound check and rehearsal day of.
100%. 6 o'clock right before. Doors open at 7. You have an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pushing
it's quick.
You better hope everything's running okay.
No, for real. Like
this podcast, we were like 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late starting because I couldn't get something going, but
yeah, no. It totally day of, like I'm walking in with just like my DJ board, and we're just walking in, you set up, you play one song, and they adjust your sound, and
boom,
you go get some food right before you walk out. You walk out in the parking lot, and the best thing is I'm walking back from the parking lot, and I'm like, there's the line there, and I'm walking in like this little side door, and it's funny just to look at these people coming in, and I'm just like, they have no idea I'm about to fucking play music for them.
Crazy.
And then they see him like, oh, dude, I saw that guy outside. Like,
oh, I saw you.
I was eating tacos on the bench across the street. Like,
just like me.
Makes you feel like a celebrity, I bet.
Just
like,
well, when you're doing the show, yes. But I was thinking, when you said that, I was thinking about like the Justin Bieber side of the burrito, like meme or whatever, where like they like had it set up. But
you had someone ask for your autograph yet?
No. But I'll tell you though, my parents came out for the Halloween show to see, and that was the first time they saw me perform, and I was doing the Dylan Francis show. And then I'm at the Village, like Meridian area.
Yeah.
And we're walking, just like took my parents shopping because like, what are you gonna do in Boise? I was just like, hey, let's go somewhere else we haven't been. Some guy walks past us, goes, yo, bro, were you DJing were you DJing at Revolution Center last night?
That's sick.
In front of my parents. I'll tell you right now, they thought I was hella cool. It was a highlight moment for sure.
And now you're on the podcast, and they think you're even cooler. So.
Yeah, dude, my dad had it in the calendar beforehand, so
let's go.
Hey, that just means I got good support and a good foundation. So can't ask for anything more. But yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I think obviously a money episode, but was this our longest episode?
Yeah, we're
Let's
at
go.
Hour and a half. Jenna was an hour and 20.
I was asking him. I'm like, dude, like 45 minutes. I'm not gonna be able to get there, dude. I'm worried about the time.
That's just a target because a lot of people, they're not like. If you think about it, like what's a Boise State student, like compared to a like a Justin Timberlake going on a podcast, like what are you really gonna talk about?
Yeah,
but it's like
there's a lot. I mean, all humans we're complex, dude. I got a lot of things in my life like. People don't know about me. Like I could sit here and switch positions with any of you, and we all have our own lives. We're all doing our own thing, and I think that's the coolest thing about this podcast, and why I loved shouting it out, and why I was so excited to do it is, dude, like everyone's trying to do it. Like for me, I correlate this idea for you guys as this is your DJing. Like I look at something and it's like something you like to do and something you could see yourself and like enjoying to do, and I'm like, all power to it, and I think. Supporting those type of things is, I need to shut up. We need to cut it off. But yeah. Hey, so I just appreciate you guys, and I'm super grateful for you guys having me on. Like this is like
static you came through.
Familiar faces. Like we've met before. Like I've seen you guys before around. Right. I've met you before, Rylan. Obviously. I actually, what's funny about you, Rylan, is I remember like watching videos. You used to like backflip and stuff, right? And do like I watched you on Instagram like freshman year and stuff. Like I remember like looking at you. Like, and I saw you when I was like looking for roommates, but I ended up being in Driscoll. So, yeah, that sucks. Best thing Driscoll ever.
Rylan can do a backflip.
Can't
I've seen him do it off a bridge into a freaking river.
At least I thought I saw. Maybe not.
No, I mean I think I have a couple pictures of me. Like it was like into like some massive pool. I can't like backflip flat.
No. That sounds hard.
No. Yeah. By the way, Max, your dad's still in the chat saying he's very cool. So.
My dad's cool?
Yeah. No, you. He's talking about you. He's saying he's like when you were talking about that Meridian story.
Yeah.
He's like he's putting the emphasis on it.
Parents are always the biggest supporter.
Oh yeah.
True.
Best
true. Well, sometimes I got lucky and mine are the biggest supporters. So I will take that all day. It's so funny to like think that like my dad right now that he's listening and like 5:30 he's like getting off work. He's like, dude, I gotta watch my son on a podcast. And, like it's just funny because it's like some of the things I've done is like no one else in my family has watched their kid do a show DJing, or like I'm just doing something that's very different. Like my sister's a superstar volleyball player, like, but it's like I just have like my niche thing, and I think they're just happy that I found something that makes me happy, and I think that's the best thing you can have from a parent as a kid is like, my dad's like, what's funny is they're like finished college because they know it's a smart decision. They're like, I need to get my degree, but like, dude, I found something that makes me happy and something that I enjoy, and the fact that they were so behind that and always have been is awesome. So
that is great. I can't think of a better way to wrap up than
literally that was
shout out the parentals. Let's go. Blah, blah, blah. No, but I did want to say before you once again, I just want to say I'm very grateful, and I appreciate you guys for allowing me to do this and let me use your kind of space to talk about things to not only promote myself, but I haven't got to talk about myself in this way, and I hope that if I ever did become a big DJ, like this is normal for me. Like I can come on podcasts, and so well,
if you get big, just promise you'll come on ours again.
Like
a part 2.
Without a doubt. I already have dreams of like coming back to Boise, selling out.
Yeah,
and people are there for me. Like that would be a dream come true.
For a reunion show.
Hell yeah,
definitely.
So. Now I'll let you close me out, but I had to say thank you before.
Thank you. We really appreciate you
much.
coming on. This was a funny episode, great conversation. We hope you do make it.
Thank you, bro.
I think you got a good shot.
They're gonna have to clean this couch because it is soaking.
Well,
with that,
until next time.
Until next time.